Ahead on Inside HCSO, a young girl whose bicycle was crumpled by a car gets a new one thanks to some big-hearted deputies. Uncovering some suspects hiding in a pond and keeping sharp with some special incident team training. Hello, I'm Major Chad Chronister. Let's get to our first story. A teenager, home alone, is startled by some burglars trying to break in. He calls 911 and a neighbor spooks the suspects who bolt from the area. Thinking a pond would be a good place to hide, the suspects submerge themselves. But here come our canines, our dive team, and our aviation unit. This story is far from over. Corporal Kevin Langiotti, give us the rest of the details.
Sure, Major. I'd love to tell you about the call. We arrived on scene and started a search for the three suspects, along with Canine. Canine tracked to a pond, kind of like a swampy little pond area with cattails, and Canine was fairly certain that his canine had tracked these suspects and that they were still in the pond. They'd requested, they asked us if we could go down and try to blow some of these cattails out of the way to try to, in an attempt to get a visual on these suspects. We came down into a hover and used our rotor wash to blow the cattails out of the way, helping out the deputies and the canines and the dive team on the ground. The ground units and the canine were able to get a visual on one of the suspects who surrendered, and the other two were apprehended very shortly thereafter.
Is this airborne maneuver used regularly?
I would not say we do it often, but every once in a while in certain situations we can utilize the helicopter and utilize a prop wash to try to uncover suspects if they're hiding in thick brush, or in this case cattails.
I know the public is proud of all of you guys out there. Great job, Corporal.
Well, thank you, Major. Appreciate that.
When a call goes out about a young girl on a bike who was hit by an SUV, our deputies brace for the worst. But we'll sure take the happy ending to this one. Here's Corporal Doug White with more.
Oh, well, on Saturday the call came out initially, as any other call does. It said a little girl, 10 years old, of course we didn't have the age at the time, 10 years old, had been hit by a car and she was riding a bicycle across the crosswalk. As we arrived on scene, or as we were arriving on scene, we were told that she was awake and breathing, so that brought us a little relief. We still didn't know what condition that we'd see her in, and absolutely amazed the fact that she was standing there with only a scrape on her shoulder. We all had the same thought independently: this girl needs a new bike. We must get this girl a new bicycle. Went to the Walmart at Waters and Hanley and spoke to the manager there, Pia, and let her know what had just happened. And I said, I need to buy a girl's bicycle, 20-inch, the pinkest thing you have. And she pointed me, in that back corner. I walked back up front and took out my debit card to try to pay for the bicycle. And Walmart wouldn't have any of it. So they wanted to donate it to the little girl. And of course, we brought it here, and I met them back here at their house before they even cleared the scene. It was funny, though, because talking to the guys later, they all said, hey, Corporal, we want to give you money towards that. We were going to go and do that. And to find that I was on scene with 5 or 6 guys, and we all independently had the same idea, and just to be with such guys that believe so deeply in our profession that we want to bring value to our citizens' lives, and something as small to this that would cost us very little means so much to her and her mom and family. So just very fortunate and happy that it had a good ending.
Here's a case of relentless detective work solving a road rage incident that included gunfire. One of the victims called 911 for help.
911, what is your emergency?
Hi, yes. We were just fired at. Shot at. His truck was hit. The guy shot his truck. He's driving down Ableside. He's driving east on Ableside.
It all began on Big Bend Road in Apollo Beach when a motorist in a Buick became irate with another driver for blocking his path in a parking lot. The driver of the Buick yelled some things, then began following the victims who were in a Ford F-250 pickup. About 2 miles away in a neighborhood, the Buick driver pointed a pistol out of the window and fired. 3 bullets struck the rear of the truck. The victims fortunately weren't injured and managed to get a partial license tag of the Buick. Detective Nikki Smith got the case and began entering various combinations of the tag. Her relentless effort paid off and the suspect was identified. 2 weeks after this road rage incident, he was in handcuffs. Here's a case of wrong time, wrong place with a trunkload of stolen wire to boot. Deputy Aaliyah Corso tells us more.
I got dispatched on a burglary in progress. I quickly responded, as well as a canine deputy, stopped the vehicle right away. This particular construction site has been burglarized a few times, so they hired on-site security. The security guard saw them hopping the fence into the construction site and called us. A canine deputy stopped them a couple minutes, like maybe a minute or two before I got there, and apparently they were backing out, trying to leave. He stopped them, detained them. I got there, and then we started getting everything going from there. I received consent to search the vehicle. I found burglary tools in the vehicle, as well as some other things, and they had saws, wire cutters, all sorts of things, gloves, masks. Once we popped the trunk, we found a ton of copper wire in the trunk. Through my investigation, I found out that the copper wire had not been stolen from the site we were on just then, but they had committed 2 other burglaries that night a few hours ago on other construction sites down in Apollo Beach. Wrong place for the bad guys, right place for the good guys on this one. So we were happy to make the catch.
Special incident response teams from all over Tampa Bay converged on our training range in Lithia to hone their skills and get on the same page. Here's more.
This is about technique and learning. This isn't about failure.
This is a multi-agency crowd control exercise involving 4 sheriff's offices and 3 police departments from the Bay Area. The scenario we are addressing is first is a passive protest, and then involving protester devices, where the protesters lock themselves into a device and block the roadway. The second is a street corner arrest type situation where a little more violent. And then the third scenario is an officer rescue out of a vehicle or a crowd situation.
Some of the other teams have brought their equipment out that they got at the RNC, and they're using them during our scenarios. The main intent is for the agencies to come together. It's one of the only times of the year that we can bring a large force together to train. It's completely different when you train in a large force versus when you train in small individual units. It gives us a chance to use the same tactics, but at a larger scale. It showed us that they remembered their training that we taught them during the RNC. They continued refreshing their skills, and they showed during the exercises that they were able to perform the way we taught them.
There are always things that we can improve on. Overall, yes, we are satisfied with the level of preparedness of all the agencies and participants. They do practice and train throughout the year, so we're happy. There's always things we can tweak.
Time for Now You Know, where you ask and we tell. Brianna of Town and Country asks, what do I do about the loud music my neighbor plays at all times of the day and night? Good quality of life question, Brianna. Here's the answer. You can contact our non-emergency number at 813-247-8200 to speak to someone about this issue. Hillsborough County Ordinance 1212 defines what is acceptable and what is a noise disturbance. Nicholas of Valrico writes, my identity was stolen and someone opened up a credit card with my information. What do I do now? Nicholas, good question, and unfortunately a situation we encounter way too often. Please contact our teleserve unit at 813-247-8200 to speak with someone. Plus, you can check out our website for information on how to avoid being a victim of identity theft. Remember, you can submit your questions anytime through our website. Just click the Contact tab and keep up with HCSO 24/7 by following us on Facebook and on Twitter. Well, all good things must come to an end, but we'll be back soon with another episode of Inside HCSO. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe, Hillsborough County.